Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
I'm turning the syllabus now. Don't worry.
Who's that, Mateo?
Yes,
I was very worried, Mateo. I'm glad I'm not worried
I
anymore.
know.
You can
It's
rest you.
it's all better now. Don't worry. It's been turned
Yes.
in.
I turned it in too.
Well, lucky for all of you, I haven't checked for it yet, but you should all turn in, definitely.
Turned in, signed, and everything.
I'm going to give another second for the last two to join. Okay. Just waiting for Ishan. Give him a second. He's joining. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, let's get started. Looks like Ishan's in. Is he in, actually? Yeah, he is. There he is. Okay. So here's what I'd like to do today. Obviously, those who are in school know that I'm not in today. So for those in school, what I would recommend, if possible, would be, if you can, to maybe zoom in from your phone. Again, that's if you can. Hang on. We lost Jaden. There he is. Okay. Again, if you can zoom in from your phone, that'd be easy. So you can also write a notability at the same time. If not, it's not a big deal. Because what I want to do is give some students an opportunity to share what their results are, or their responses were for E, F, G, H, and I. I'd like to do that, I'd say, for like the first 15 minutes of class, and then talk about these last questions at the end here, where we take the orthographic views and draw the isometric ones, which are a little bit trickier. Okay, so I'm going to ask just if anybody wants to screen share to volunteer first. I will turn my screen share off so you guys see where we're at, but I'm talking about part E first. And if you want to screen share what you have for your results for this, or what you got for your top, front, and side views. Anybody want to volunteer to start with this one? Anybody find part E a little bit easier maybe than the other ones they want to share? Savannah, is that your hand?
I could go if you want me to, but also I'm on my computer, so should I zoom in from my iPad so you can share the screen?
Yeah, so if anyone's going to, exactly, if anyone is going to share from their iPad today, I would recommend that you do so from Zoom, because we're not in the room, so we can't even share like with the AirPlay in the room. So it'd have to come right from the iPad itself. Okay, there's Savannah, so she's going to screen share for us. So we're going to look at part E first, so if others could open up their part E. And again, remember, you should have submitted this already before class started. Obviously, feel free to make corrections on yours. We'll make comments as we see Savannah's on the screen to see if there are any things that she needs to change on hers. But again, this should be submitted before class starts. I'm going to try to get into the habit of putting like 8 a.m. as an actual time for using the assignments tool. I'm going to start using the assignments tool for your class so you guys can see it. I think it links to your calendar. Is that correct? Okay, cool. Yeah, a couple students recommended that, so I think I'm going to alter the way I'm going about showing the homework tab. Instead, I'll use assignments. Okay, there we go. I have Savannah's now. All right. So let's take a look at what she's got to start here. Let's see. So she's shaded the top as red, the front is blue, the side is green. Okay. Let's see. And we're looking at the top. Savannah, you have there's no pointer tool on this app, right? Is there a pointer tool actually? No, there's not, right?
I think there is.
Like, there isn't like really, no, there isn't.
What's the last thing next to the little hand up there, Savannah? What does that do on yours? I don't have that on mine.
That's a point.
Oh,
That's the pointer.
Oh, it is
Oh,
a
this
point.
is great. When did you get that, or how did you get that? Is that a add-on,
It's
or
just
is it an update?
no, it's when you screen share, like you just get it randomly. That's what happens to
No
me.
way. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Thanks for the update, Santino. Nice. Okay, cool. So Savannah, that's great. So you can point to as we talk, right? So let's talk about the top first. Okay, and along the left side, it looks like you've got, what did you make your box lengths? You did 12, like we were saying, or you did, yeah, 12. Nice. So you went how far back on that one? You went 5.5 back?
Yeah, so
Okay, there's the half at the bottom. Yeah, why don't you explain it actually? Go ahead. Yeah, that'd be better.
Oh, okay. So I have 5.5 wide, and then here I used the ratio of 12, so that's 3, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's a lot of like halves here. So looking at it from the top, you have to like kind of notice that these little divisions. So this is you can see right here 1.5. So I did 1.5, and then 1.5 again, 1.5, and then you have that block of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you don't need to section this off, but it is 1 here. So, and then it just goes down. And
And
that's
what about
really,
the big box that you have from the top view? What
oh
does
yeah.
that represent? Just show so others know.
Well, I took away the 1 here because this like goes to here. So that's 4. So basically 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this represents like this whole area. And then the width would just be 5.5 minus the 1. Obviously, that's like right here.
Okay.
So 4.
And how did we know that that was 1, the depth in the back there? It looks like that it's possible that could just be an assumption we're making, right? Are we given that actual depth? I
Yeah,
don't think we
it kind
are,
of,
so.
we aren't giving the depth, but I saw how it's like, this is 1 here, so I just kind of took it around here.
Yep. I like
So,
that approach. So you see what I'm saying there, guys? There's no depth actually given. Can you point that out, Savannah, with the marker? Maybe just point like forward and back to the depth we're talking about.
right here.
Yeah, along that, exactly, right along there. We're not given how deep that goes, so Savannah assumed it was 1 box deep,
Yeah.
which allowed her to take that away from the 5.5 at the bottom there,
Yeah.
leaving 4.5 boxes for that like interior rectangle.
So then for the,
How about the front approach? Go ahead.
yeah, for the front view, I just went, you can see here for pretty simple right up here. And then on the bottom, you have 1, 4, plus, so 8 again, because if you look right here, it matches all the way down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you make that point again and say that slowly so others can see how the top and the front correlate in width?
So this is the like kind of the width, and it matches all the way down to here because the length is the same of 8 to 8
And show that on the figure, on the solid. Show what you're pointing to on the solid.
here.
Yeah, exactly. See where she's pointing to there? That's the same from the top and front view. So that's why they look about the same width from the top and
Yeah,
front.
like this.
Okay, continue.
Okay, and then
Nice.
okay, and then this goes up 2. You can see right here. So 2 and 2. It goes in 1.5. You can see it goes up 1 right here, and then the same thing, and then 1 again, and then you just continue that. And since this is 1 wide, I just made a little indent here because, you know, obviously when you look at it from the front, you're gonna see that line breaking up the blue.
Very good.
And then, okay,
Very good,
and
nice.
then also, so for the side, you can see how also this line matches up with this line. So basically, if you're looking at it from like the top, yeah, the top, even though like this part is broken out, like right here, you can see that the top of it is matched up with the blue. So,
So the height you're talking about, the height of the blue and the height of the green are the same.
Yeah, the height, yeah. And then so here, 5.5, right here, you're looking at it like this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, and you go up 2, 1, and then 1 again, so that's 3. I mean, 2, 1, that's 4 in total. And looking at it from this view, like this way, you can,
Yeah, very good.
you have this section parted off from every little, like this green cube, and then this like L shape. So this L shape is actually 5. You take it, and it's 1. This is 2, so you can assume. I think you have to assume here that each of these are 1, 1 in length. So
Yes.
1, 1, and then right here and right here, you can see that this is 1, and it goes up, and then it matches perfectly. So that's pretty correct.
Yeah. Any suggestions? Anything that should be changed? Does it look good to everybody? Any questions? Will, do you have a question? I can't tell if you're putting a hand up or if your hand was in front of the camera.
I was just asking, would you get points taken off if they weren't perfectly aligned? Like you see how the top and the front view are like perfectly aligned like that? Would you get points?
Yeah, so top and front being lined up with the same width is important, yeah, and that is part of the value of the actual drawing. So yes, you would. Again, this is homework, so I'm not as much of a stickler. I want to see your attempt at it. We will eventually have quizzes on this, or a quiz, I should say, on a drafting example. So it is important that the width of the front and the top are the same, and then also the height of the front and the side are the same.
Yeah.
Okay, do you see how the heights of the green and the blue are also the same like that?
Yeah.
So that is
Exactly.
important, yes. Awesome job, Savannah. Well done. If you could unscreen share at this point, or stop screen sharing, I guess is the phrase. Okay, nice. So let's take a look. Let's see. Yeah, F was a tough one. F, I would have probably gone with multiples of 5 or 10, depending on what I was choosing. Anybody want to take a stab at F? Anyone feel brazen? Anyone feel a little confident to show their work for part F? Jennifer, is that a hand? I'm seeing like this, maybe.
Yeah, hold on. I have to join on my iPad.
That's fine. Well, Jennifer is joining with part F. Can I get a volunteer for part G so we know who would be going next? Anyone feel confident with part G? Ishan? Okay, perfect.
I don't know if
How
I
about
did
part
right,
H?
but I want to get some
That's okay.
feedback.
Yeah, no, you should still share your stuff for sure, and we'll give you feedback. How about for H? Anyone for H after that? H was a tough one for sure. We could hold off on that one because that's got that slanted edge right there.
Mr. Al,
Okay, there's Jennifer. Yes, go ahead.
I can do it, but I forgot to color it in.
That's okay. You don't even have to color it in. That's all right. As long as you have the shape. And if you
Okay.
want to color it in while you're waiting right now, Santino, that's fine too.
All right, but I can do it, yeah.
So you'll do H, Santino?
Yeah.
Nice.
Santino, can I make a trade? Can I do H and you do I?
I mean, if you really want to, yeah, if you want it.
Okay.
Who is that just said that?
Will. Me.
Okay. All right. So we got Jennifer for F. She joined. I think she has to screen share now. So on the Notability on the Zoom app, hit share your screen. There it is. Nice. All right. So we're going to take a look at part F right now. Jennifer, why don't you use that pointer just like Savannah did in that? Yeah, nice. So you can point out and you dictate. You start and we will jump in if we have to.
Okay, so I did that 5 units would be 1 box. And
Nice.
so for the top one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I already wrote it there. It's 14 boxes like across. And then I have 11 like down.
Can you point with the pointer as you speak this?
Yeah.
Yeah, just so we can see what you're saying.
I have like 11 down here and 14 this way. So then I have 3 here and 5 here and 3 here.
Okay.
For the side
How about that
one,
little indentation?
That's 1, 2, 3. That's like 5, like deep 5 in.
Good.
And then for the side, I have
Why don't you go to the front next? We'll go to the side last.
Okay, yeah. We have.
What's the simplification about the front, Jennifer? What made it like just one big thing?
Because like right here and right here, like if you're looking from the front, you can't actually see those two. You can only see this one, this
Very
like
good.
one here. They're, like,
so we called
it.
them yesterday hidden faces, right? Hidden faces. So yeah, we can't see them, and I agree with her that we don't really need to even show them. If we wanted to, we could put a dotted line for those to show it, but we don't need that, and I mentioned that in class. Okay, now why is your side kind of floating? What caused you to have to put it there? What did you notice?
That there wasn't like enough room.
Yeah, and that might happen at times, guys.
Too long.
Exactly. So if you need to, either change your scale at times to make it fit or do what Jennifer did for now and just at least move it up, that's fine. But remember, though, that the height of the side should match the height of the front. Liam, go ahead. You have a question, I see.
Yeah, can we use different,
Scales?
Sizes, I guess, a box per,
yeah.
Can I use my scale?
Anything you want.
5 for side and 10 for front, if I say that.
Oh, like that. No, that's a great question. Sorry. So if you're going to use a scale, it needs to be consistent for the entire solid. That's a great question. So it's not like X and Y axes on a math class where you can go by 2s on the X and go by 5 on the Y. It has to be the same scale for all of the dimensions, okay? But you could use a different scale, such as something like, 10 units equals 1 box. Then you would have half boxes and stuff here, though. So that's probably why Jennifer chose 5, because 5 was a common factor of all of these dimensions. Does that answer your question, Liam? Liam? Oh, keep going, Jennifer. We might have lost Liam there. We'll let him get back in a second. Okay. Go ahead. So let's describe the side next.
So for the side, it was you can't see since right here it's back further. When you're looking at it from the side, you just see that that's all this is all together.
And show that on the drawing. Point to the drawing where you're referring to that.
Right here, this part down here.
Nice.
So it's all together. That's this part, and then and the top part you can't see that it's back further either. It's all together like that.
So when you say you can't see, what you're referring to is the fact that you can't see the depth, right?
Yeah.
You can see the depth there, but you can see what looks like 3 rectangles on the bottom and that little U shape on the top still.
Yeah.
If it's ABC, you go ABC, CBA.
It looks great. I'm trying to just check your dimensions, but I'm just counting real quick. Everything looks good. Looks like you went 6 up. Like you went 6 up. Yeah, nice. Liam, you came back. We noticed you got kicked out. Now you're back. Did you have any other questions? Does that make sense what I was saying, Liam?
Yeah, no, sorry, my device died.
That's okay. So just consistency of your scale for any individual solid. The next solid, though, we'll see we can use a different scale.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. Nice work.
Okay.
And who's got G again? You guys switched? I forget who's got G.
Was it me or is it Ishan? I don't know.
I mean, I can share, but I definitely know.
Ishan, which one did you volunteer?
I volunteered for G, but I definitely know that I think I messed it up. So,
if you want, I can try G.
That's not a problem. Or Santino could. Yeah, sure. And you guys could switch.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll put Santino for G. So Ishan, which one are you going to do then? You said.
He's doing
there's H and there's I left.
I guess I can do H. I can try and attempt 8. Yeah, I can try and I can do H. Yeah.
I'm H.
And who signed up for I?
No, he's supposed to do I because he's taking Santino's spot, right?
That's right. So Will, you'll do H, and Ishan, how about I? Does I work for you?
Yeah, I.
All right, I'll put Will down for H and Ishan for I. Okay. Santino, we can see you. Yep. So just go to the app now.
Yeah, this is G, right? Can you see it or not?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so right, the pointer. So this one was weird because they didn't really link.
Now it's frozen actually, Santino. Hold on. Do me a favor, just move your screen a little bit with your hand if you can.
Yeah, we can't see.
It's frozen on like on your Loyola folder,
Yeah,
it looks like.
let me stop it. Because I was probably just doing something
It's okay.
dumb.
Start it again and choose screen, and then try to go right to Notability.
Right.
There it is.
You
Now
see
we
it
can
now?
see. Yes.
Okay. So this one was like weird because in terms of like the values, it was like I couldn't exactly get a specific thing, like a
Because everything was
specific
13,
scale.
right?
Yeah, so it was like weird, but like I tried my best in terms of it.
That's fine.
Again, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I tried.
Most of it looks good. Most of it looks good so far. You want to use the pointer and point as you're speaking.
Yeah, so like this is the top, and I like just did it like up here. I knew that this was like 1.3, so I tried my best to do 1.3 over here, and then I knew this was 3.7, so I had to like do some math, like actual math with it, to see like where I should put this on. Then this is like 3.9, so it was like in like the kind of middle over here. So that was how I did the top. And then in the front, it was
before you keep going, before you go to the front, hold on one sec. Anyone have a suggestion for the top? It looks good, but there's one thing he might want to change. Can anyone recommend it? What do you think, Rock? I see your hand go up.
He should turn it 90 degrees to the left. Right.
Yeah, counterclockwise, 90 degrees, and it should be directly above the front image. Is that possible for you to use the scissor tool, select it, rotate it, counterclockwise, the other way?
Counterclockwise?
That's clockwise.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And put it directly above the front so that the width of the top equals the width of the front. You might need to make it a little larger if you want to highlight it and just stretch it a little bit. Yeah. It should be 3 across, right?
Right, it's like this.
There it is, exactly like that. I know it's a little finicky. Yeah, there you go. That looks better.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
And then for the front, like, again, it was like a little weird, but I knew this was exactly 1, and then this was exactly 3, so that's how like the main thing. And then this one was actually pretty easy. But then like I knew there was 1, so this was just supposed to be like this one was probably the easiest one, where it was 4 and then like 1 and then 3.
So the height was 4, and the total width was 3, with each of those individual columns as a width of 1. That looks good.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a little crooked, but
that's okay.
That was like the idea. And then the side, this one I tried for this one to be like around 1.3. I know it's not exact, but it's. I mean, actually no. I know this is 3.7, and then when I add that to the 1.3, it's like around like 4.9ish. So that's what no, it's not.
It'd be 4.37. That's okay.
4.37.
It'd be 4.37. So probably a little shorter on that little top part, but that's okay.
And then like this one over here, I thought it was 3 as well, but there's still like some inconsistencies. I think it was like 5.2. So that's around like over here when I added that together. And I know this was also 3.07, so I had to add that to the 5.02. So I kind of got that little, but that little part is a little weird, but yeah. So
your heights for your side look good. Your heights are all good. It's more of the width, left to right for the side. That is something that's a little bit tougher because, like you said, those decimals with grids can get a little bit tricky at times, right?
Yeah. So like, should I like yeah, it's something like over here. This should be like 3, like a little bit more over here. Like, sorry, this thing over here.
You gotta use the pointer, yeah.
This thing should be like a little bit more over here, right?
No, I mean 3.07. That's reasonable.
Not that. Sorry, I meant this. This should be a little bit more like to the left, I think.
Well, let's see. What are the numbers add up to? 3.9 and 1.3 is 4.9, 5.2. It should be 8.27 total. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you're pretty good. You have 8.3. It looks like.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing? I'm adding up those 3 numbers.
Right, yeah.
And the total base should be 8.27, and you're around 8.3 along the whole base this way. So that's not bad. If anything, it's just that little notch right at the top. See that notch? Exactly. That should slide over to the right a little bit.
Let me change that right now, actually.
Yeah, just so people can see what I'm referring to and what you're referring to. Yeah, exactly. That's okay.
What was
And then
it?
move it over to the right
It
a little.
was, that's like 1.3, so it's like around like here. All right.
Exactly. That's the only change I would make from the side view.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any other questions from others? Any concerns? Anything else you want to point out? Did anyone else see anything that he should edit or you have a question about? Allie? Yeah, go ahead.
I made like 50 or 5150, so it was like easier to like scale.
That's
Is
fine.
that okay?
Yep. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And when you guys have a quiz, I'm going to make it reasonable so you're not sitting here doing decimals all the time. That's not the point of this exercise, you know? Any other questions on this one? Okay, let's move on. Let's go on to H, which I think is Will.
Mhm.
Thank you, Santino. Nice work. So Will's going to join with his iPad, which he already did. Nice, Will. And then just screen share with that thing. Awesome. And Ishan, you're welcome to join with your iPad also while you're waiting so you're ready for the next one, if that helps to speed it along for you.
Like Savannah, I'm on my laptop, so I'll have to
do that after.
Yeah.
You can join from another iPad though, Ishan, while you're waiting. I'm saying you could, you know what I'm saying? You could hit join the Zoom call from your iPad.
Okay. Yeah.
Just so you're ready to go when you're up. All right, Will, take it away.
Okay, so what I did is the scale for every block, it's only 20. So for the top view, since you can't actually see this slant, it just looks like a square with little markings. This is 2 blocks, so there's 2 blocks here. This is a 20 by 20, so it's 1 block. And this is 40, so it's 2 blocks.
How do you know that's 40, just so we know?
Because if this is 20 and this is 60, and it looks about, well, I think I just kind of guessed.
Yeah.
But it looks roughly.
No, you're right. Keep going.
20, 60, 40. Sorry.
And can you label the 40 on there? Do you know how to label that?
Like right here.
Maybe at the bottom of that ramp. Yeah, exactly. Nice work. So that's the 40 right there.
Okay. And then I'd say the hardest one is the side view because it's this slant right here that I tried to roughly estimate. But so this is, wait, did I do this too high? I think I did it too high. One too high. Right?
I think you went 1 box too high.
Yeah. Because it's supposed to be.
You can edit that while we're here. That's fine.
So I'll go right up to here.
Good.
Oops.
This is good that he's noticing this, guys, right? See, and this is what you have to do as you're going through it. And when you try to explain something, sometimes you recognize things like, oh, wait, I made that mistake, or, oh, this doesn't make sense, so there must be something I should change. Don't worry about the finickiness of it being perfectly straight. It might be like snapping to another spot. It's all right. Nice, okay. Get rid of that partial piece, okay. That's fine. And you know what's interesting? As I was looking at that, well, you can keep drawing. As I was looking at your work, I'm like, ooh, that seems a little bit steep, right? That slant, it looks steep from the front view. Mm-hmm. And that's like an indicating factor, like, ooh, that doesn't look like it's to scale right now.
Yeah. Okay, and then you go here.
Nice.
And then you just go straight down the half.
Nice,
very good. That looks much better. Yeah. And also, I just realized that's also not 3 by 3. That was higher, so.
Yeah, and notice it wouldn't have matched up with your side view. Look at your side view. Exactly. What's the height of your side view? The height of your side view is 3. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then, now that I figured that out, I guess should I just go into the side view, or do you want me to
can you highlight with the select tool, highlight your side view with the scissor tool?
Oh, is it this?
Yeah, highlight your side and just tap it and hit style.
Yep.
Just make it a darker green so we can see it better. It's hard for me. There it is. Thank you. Okay.
There we go. So yeah, sorry for like the little slanted points like right here. That's a little slanted.
It's fine. Don't worry. So describe in dimensions. Go ahead.
It's 60 along here, and then up here, it's just I think it's 40. Well, it's 60, but since there's a little mark right here, it's just 40 up, but you can't see the slant. And then here there's 20 down, so you make space here, and then it's 40 across, and then directly down, but you can't see this empty space. It just looks like it's that little mini square in here. Yeah.
Very good. It's exactly right. And 20 was an easy one to use here, as a scale. You could have used
Yeah.
10 or 5, obviously, also, and it would have just made your shapes
Mhm.
larger. So that works great. Does anyone have questions on this one? Is anything unclear about this one? It was tough because of the slant. So if you had trouble with the slant part, it might be something you want to think about, like, practicing it again later. Savannah, go ahead.
The thing I did was I kind of colored both like green and red.
I like that, actually. See what she's saying? Because the slant represents the top and the side view because of the fact that it's slanted.
So I just did it just so like when I was actually putting it on the graph, it'd be easier. So I don't know if anybody else wants to use that if they find a similar problem. But
I like that technique. Do people understand? Can you shade on your diagram, Will, what she's referring to, the slanted
do
area?
shade or highlight? What do you think's better? Shade or
Highlight's fine.
highlight?
Highlight's fine. Yep.
highlight's better. You can
So it's like, you mean like a little bit of red and then a little bit of green as well?
And then just overlay it with green. Yeah.
kind of
Because
Nice.
it's both views. Because I'm pretty sure you mean like right here and right here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. That's exactly right. Well done. Good idea there, Savannah, especially on anything slanted. And, believe it or not, what you're doing right now is something that you're going to do in physics next year. When something is at an angle, you break it into components. So for this case, you see from above and from the side the same exact shape. And that means it's because it's at an angle. So technically it has a piece that goes this way and a piece that goes this way. Nicely done. Good point to add. Will, nice job. Ishan, for part I now, for part I.
Mr. Howell,
Yes.
can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, go for it, Jennifer.
Okay.
So Ishan, you're going to want to join from your iPad. You want me to read the number for you if you're joining from the iPad?
What's the meeting ID? Sorry.
771-172-0511. Okay. And then the green button on the top right. Hit mute on your sound if you have any sound going on right now. There's a green button that says like share my screen. There you go.
All right. So can you? All right. So I had to do 3 different things because I couldn't fit it on all of it on one of the things. So
okay.
So I used each box equals 6 units.
Okay.
So like for the front, right? This first square right here, right? It's 30 on the sides, so that'd be 5 boxes, and then 36 in the front, so that'd be 6. And then the next.
Can you show on your diagram which diagram you're referring to, Ishan? So, we can't tell. Are you talking about the blue or the green drawing?
Oh, the blue. Yeah, sorry, the front.
Use the pointer. Use the pointer.
There's a pointer. Oh.
To the right of the hand, there's a little pointer.
Oh, okay, here we go. So I'm talking about this one. So.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so this box right here, right? It's 30 on the side, so 5 squares, and then on the front, it's 36, so 6, and then the box next to it.
Okay.
I read it as being 24, so I put 4, and then I used the same height of 30, so 4 by 5, and then on the top, right, it's 6, right, because it covers both boxes, so it'd be 6 and 4. So I did a length of 60 and a height of 30, so 6, so 10 by 5 for the front.
And point to that on your blue diagram so we can see what you're referring to.
So here is the big one that's 10 by 5. Here is the 4 by 5, and here is also the 4 by 5 or 5 by 4 and 4.
So that's your front view. Yeah. Okay, that's your front view.
And then the side, or sorry, the top. My bad.
That's okay.
I tried to figure out the dimensions of the top box. I did 84 minus 36 because it seemed like the length of 36 was the amount from here So from here on, so that got me 48. So then, yeah, so then for the length, so I did 7 as the length, and then for the, sorry, for the width, and for the length, I just did 30. I just added 36 and 24 together because that's what it looked like it was, and that was my length. So it's 7 by 10 for the top box, and then for the one below it, this part right here, I did. You know, I was doing by 6, right? So I had to do 10 boxes. I was a little short, so I had to try and guess. And then, you know, it was a length of 36, right? So I did 6 boxes, and then went up by 6 because it's a 30 with the 36 on the side, and then by 4 because it's 24 as well. So that's the top part of it. And then
we pause for 1
to the
second?
side, yeah.
Sorry, bud. I know you keep me on the flow here. Just zoom out a little bit. I know Natalia has a question, and I want to point something out. Natalia, you want to ask your question first?
Well, just one thing I noticed while I was listening is you said you did 36 minus 84 to get the length of that top box, but it says that that there's like, you see that 60 over there, so
Yeah.
you could have done 60 minus 36 to get 24, so you know that length of that little side piece sticking out is 24, and then 84 minus 24 is 60, so the length of that box is actually 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what I would have said, Ishan, you did really well with this, explaining it. And Natalia, thanks for chiming in with that. What I would have also considered is saying this. See the 84 and the 36? Can you circle them, the ones that are next to each other? Yeah, those together sum up to 120, right? So let's write 120 next to that. Now, if we have that as a 120, and we have a 60 on the other side, right? On the other, zoom out a little bit back. We have that 60 on the other side now. 120 minus that 60 leaves you with 60 for that other dimension. You
Okay.
follow?
Yeah.
That's okay. So keep going. So go to your side view now.
All right. So for the side, I saw it was a length of 84. So I did. So I did a length of 15 because it was the length of 84, and then for the height, I assumed it was 60 because it's 30 here and then 30 here, so 30 plus 30 is 60. So I did by 10, and then but then I went over.
It's going to be a bit,
Yeah.
now that you know the numbers that we corrected, it's going to be a little bit different,
Yeah, it's going to
correct?
be a little off, but
Mm-hmm.
so I went.
But the idea is correct.
Yeah, I went over, and then I went down by 3 because it's again or I should have gone down by 5.
By 5 there would
Yeah.
have been. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
all right. That's why you're learning as you do this. So on your diagram, that would have been 5 down instead of 3 down. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just filled in the rest of what would have been the by 10 because again it was a height of 60. So.
And there's one other thing I'm going to add in, unless somebody else wants to chime in. There's one line that's missing, and it's not. There are some dimension things that you can change as you know after having corrected some of them. But there's a line that's missing somewhere. Does anyone see it? Where's that missing line? I can't tell if Natalia still has a hand up from earlier or if it's a new hand up. Okay, it is a new hand up. Go ahead. You're still muted, I think.
Yeah, I just realized. On the green one I think that'd be the side view.
Yeah.
It's only one box, but there'd have to be a line. I think I can't see the numbers with the zoom, but it'd probably be like 3 boxes in, I think.
Yeah, there should be a vertical line 3 boxes in from the left side. So from the leftmost line you drew, 3 boxes in, there should be a vertical line there. Correct. And that represents the location where the 36 and the 84 meet. See on your diagram on the solid where the 36 and the 84 meet up?
Yeah, I'm just fixing this.
That's okay, yeah. Jaden, were you going to help out with the correction for that, or do you have a question that was separate? Okay, got it. All right, nicely done, guys. This is good. And Ishan, see, that's good that you shared yours, right? So you're able to figure out, like, okay, I have to change these couple of things, and that you got help from others. So Well done. And that's why I said, if you guys want to share sometimes, it doesn't have to be perfectly right, right? Nice work. All right, let's move on to number 2, which is the whole section of looking at an orthographic view and graphing the isometric solid. So I'm going to screen share mine so I can demo these 3 for you guys for today. Let's see if mine pops up. Okay, this is awesome. This little pointer thing, I wish I had known this the other day. I didn't even know that existed. I was using all the colors to do things. This is great. Now, this is a little bit tougher because we have to visualize from 3 different perspectives what a solid object would look like. Okay, and that's what makes this a little bit trickier for this problem. So let's ask the question first, or let's think about the concept first of what would this look like from, I don't know, the front view. When you see that front view with those 2 what look like rectangles there, what does that tell you, or what does that indicate? Any ideas? See those 2 rectangles next to each other? I know, right? This is kind of weird. We have to start thinking about it this way. Liam, what are you thinking?
It means that like there's 2 things stacked on top of each other. I don't know exactly how to word it, but it's like.
How about adjacent to each other?
Yeah, that.
Adjacent, yeah. All right, so I like that word to start. There's something where there's 2 pieces adjacent. How about the top view? What does the top view tell us? What does the top view kind of tell us? Allie, is that a hand still up? I can't tell if that was the last one or this one.
No, that was from before. Sorry.
That's okay. Santino, how about you? What does the top view tell us?
That is like a solid piece, and that in the front view, one was like it's like cut off, and one of the adjacent pieces of the front view is like pushed back.
Yeah, so the right part of the front view, Santino's talking about this part right here, okay? This part is kind of like back a little bit, I'd say almost halfway. And this one right here that I'm putting a circle in, I could actually use this pointer as I know now that I have it. This one kind of comes forward a little bit, it juts out. And the top view tells me that because I see this missing gap here. Remember, this right here is this, and this right here is this part, okay? So the side view doesn't tell me too much more. The side view tells me that we've got these 2 rectangles, and it looks like this one here is representing this right there, right? Because we're looking from the side. It means when we look from the side, we're looking in at it like that. So again, this face is represented by this, and this face here is represented by this right there. So this gets a little bit tricky, and it's kind of tough to draw. So I'm going to try to step you guys through a process that I think will help you a little bit. Notice the grid lines are all at angles like this, right? They look kind of funky. They're not, it's not an accident. They're done this way on purpose. And our goal here is to figure out how we can draw this as efficiently as possible. So if I'm thinking about the top view, I might start by thinking, okay, I've got this kind of like L shape going on, right? And I don't have dimensions right now. There's no dimensions given for any of these, and so I'm going to estimate what the solid looks like. And if I'm looking at this, I might say this is like, I don't know, we'll call this a 2, and we'll call this length 3, which makes this entire length 5. Okay, and I'm just using estimations. If that side one is a 2, I'm going to, I don't know, let's call this one a 3, I guess, over here. It's about 3 as well there. And again, if you have a different number in mind, that's okay. I'm just, eyeballing it right now. Now, although the 3 is not evenly split, I'm still going to call that, I'm going to call this 1 and I'm going to call this a 2. I know the 1 and the 2 are not perfectly drawn to scale. They'd probably be more like 1.2 and 1.8, but I'm not going to get into the finicky nature of the decimals for now. So this is my top view I've got. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick a starting point, okay? And here's my starting point. I'm going to use red. Let's mark this as our starting point right here. Now on my grid, I'm going to pick a starting point. And I know that I'm going to have to go from the red dot a little bit deeper, right? A little bit further back. So I'm going to pick a starting point over here with my red dot. Okay, that's the starting point that I'm picking. Now, I know that from this starting point, it goes 5 deep, right? Like that. Take a look at the arrow I just drew. It goes 5 units back. So let's go ahead and draw 5 units back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how do I know that goes 5 units back? Because it crossed or intersected with 5 of the vertical isometric lines. These are called isometrics. So it crossed over 5 lines. And when I got to the 5th one, I stopped. Then from there, I need to go 3 units. And if I think about this solid, it's almost like 3 units coming out of the page. Okay, so I'm going to go ready. 1, 2, 3 units like that. I'm trying to do this nice and slow so you can see the process I would take, okay? And again, I'm just giving you the top view for now. I think that will help a little bit to see the other parts. Next, I'm gonna come 2 units back. Now notice, look, the arrow I just drew, I'm gonna use the pointer. The arrow I just drew right here is representing the side that is parallel to the 5, isn't it? Aren't these parallel, the 5 and the 2? Everybody see what I'm pointing to? They're parallel to each other. So this one should come back along the same parallel line. See how these are parallel to each other, these isobars? So this one is parallel to this one. So I need to come back 2 boxes until I get to here. Okay, so I'm going to do that with blue. Come back 2 boxes. So I'm doing these, again, 1 step at a time. I did the 5, I did the 3, and then I did the 2. Next, I'm going to take that turn and go into the page for 1 unit. And notice again, the 1 unit I'm covering right now is parallel to the 3 unit length up here, right? The 1 is parallel to the 3. So let's go back 1 unit to here. Then the next step is to come 3 units forward. I'm going to draw that arrow right now, 3 units forward. That's the next step. And notice that this length right here is parallel to the 5 length, which is also parallel to this 2 length. All 3 of these lines are parallel to each other. So it's going to go along another isobar 3 units back, 1, 2, 3, right there. And then the final step is to finish the top view by connecting back to the red dot we started at and connecting this back to the beginning right here at the red dot. So that's my top view. So I'm always going to pick, listen carefully, I'm always going to pick the bottom left of the top view as my starting point. Maybe label this SP for starting point, okay, if that helps. And I'm going to always go from there upward, and that will always bring me backward in the page, okay? I'll put a red arrow so you saw my first step in red, okay? That's what they're always going to do for these objects. So my recommendation in a little while when you're going to be starting or looking at B and C and practicing those will be to start again for B and C, and I can slide down. For this one, we're going to start here as our starting point. We'll label that somewhere on the diagram, and we'll start by going back, which means we'll start by going in that direction like that. Okay, that's the direction the line is going to take for the part B one. Let's continue with part A, though, just so we have it. What else do we have to do? Well, we have to estimate. I know we're getting close to time. It's almost 1:21. We can go like a 2 or 3 minutes over right now. We're not in that much of a rush. Looking at the height of the front and the side, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to label these as 2 units in height. Okay, those are all 2 units in height. Now, the front view is already dictated by the top view in dimension. And let me refer to what I'm saying here. This right here, take a look where I'm pointing, this length has to be 2 units because the top length was 2 units. So this must be 2. And since this was a 1 over here, take a look where I'm pointing, that was a 1, it means that this must be 1 right here. So let's go ahead and label them down here. That's a 2 and that's a 1. I don't need all these 2s, right? We know that. I'm over labeling. I don't need a 2 on everything for these. So if I want to, I can maybe get rid of some of these just so it doesn't look too, cluttered. And then from the side view gets a little bit tricky, right? The side view, this has to be a 3 here. And the reasoning is because this is 3 right here. Remember that this 3 here is corresponding to this 3 right here, Okay, again, that's the 3 from the top. Take a look, right? I'll highlight again. There's the 3 from the top. But when we look from the side view, right, looking in, when we look in from the side view from that angle, this is also going to be 3 from the side view, which is represented right here with either this line or this line. So the next step I would actually go through would be to give it some height, right? To give this top view some height. So we need to drop this down 2 boxes from here. So let's go ahead and draw 2 boxes down from right there. I can't tell if these are large enough or thick enough. Let me thicken up the style on this. Okay, much better. Now, I have to do the same exact thing for the next part because, again, I know that this is a height of 2 also, and so is this. So from this corner, right, from here, which is right here in my diagram, I got to come down 2. So let's do that. Let's bring this down 2 boxes. And then I have to do the same thing for all of these. Come down 2 boxes here. Come down 2 boxes here. Come down 2 boxes here. This gives the solid some height to it. Okay, it gives the solid some height. Then the last step, which seems almost like, I wouldn't use the word obvious, but it seems like it's the last thing you can do, would be to connect all those bottom edges. So if we look at this carefully, from the side view, we can see that this length here, let's see, is 3, right? We see that length of 3 right there. I'll highlight it actually. This length of 3, that's this length. 1, 2, 3, right there. Right, those 3. So let's connect those. Now, if that's 3, well, this is 2 right here. It makes this a 2 over there. So again, this is a 2 right here, which means that this is a 2 here. So this means connect these 2 boxes. Well, that's these 2 boxes right there. So let's connect those 2. Then we've got, this is a length of 1. Right, take a look what I'm circling. That's a length of 1, which is representing this right here, which is also representing this right here. So let's connect this little piece that's missing here. And then finally, last but not least, we've got this dimension of 2 right here, right? This dimension over here of 2. Well, that's this dimension right here of 2. So let's connect this last piece. And we've got our solid. Again, not an easy process, but a process that takes a little bit of practice when it comes to marking off your starting point and moving accordingly from that starting point. For the sake of time, I'm just going to take any questions that you have on part A right now. It's easier to watch and look at it and be like, oh, I get that. That makes sense. I can see the solid now. It's a lot harder to do it on your own. Okay, it really is. I'm being honest. You need to practice this. This is not something that's going to be like just come second nature to you because you watched me do it once. You definitely need to practice this. So these ones are good examples of practice. This one has a little bit of depth to it, and I would again recommend using the top view to help you. And then this one is probably a little bit easier actually than part B. So if anything, C you might want to do first. It's probably a little easier than B. My assignment for you guys for next class is going to be to finish up B and C here. Okay, B and C right here. And then what I want you to do is on my LS, I'm going to the site now on my computer. On my LS under, I think it's under homework or documents. It's probably under documents. Yeah, under documents. So under documents on my LS, so you're going to hit topics. Okay, then you're going to hit documents. You're going to see there's a document called drafting homework. And let me stop screen sharing my iPad so you guys can see this now. Screen share this guy. Okay, so again, where did I get this from so you can see where I got it from? I got this from our MyLS page, okay? So here's our normal page right here. Then we're going to go to topics. And then within topics, we're going to see the documents listed. And then it's the drafting homework. We looked at the notes. We did practice already. You're finishing that last 2. We've saved the grids already. So it's the drafting homework, and that will look like this. So I recommended for the homework, and this was a homework that I included even last year in this class, that students refresh their memory and do a little bit of a quick video watch. And I think this video actually helped a lot. And this was a little refresher on how to go from a solid to the top, front, side. Then you'll see toward the end, so there's 8 of those rather, I should say. And then you'll see toward the end, I give 2 other videos to help with drawing the solid object from the different 3 views. And there's just 2 of those examples. This one is really tricky, and the angles were tough, and people struggled last year. I remember it being annoying. If you want to challenge yourself, work on B. But if you're having trouble, or if you're even like, you find this one to be already enough, I would stop with this one with A. So again, what I want you to do is finish up the document that we're currently working on, the last 2 examples with the solid objects you're going to draw. And then these are just practice for you. I would practice them over the weekend for sure. Give it a little bit of look. And then this one here for practicing with a solid. If there's something that I would mention, it would be definitely watch those video links that I put there. I think it would help you, especially drawing the solids. And if you want to watch the video links on the solids before you finish off today's worksheet, that's fine. It might be a worthwhile thing to look at. I'd like to go over these in the next class a little bit, and then in the following class, give you guys an assessment on this topic of drafting. Once we've done that assessment, we're going to be done drafting by hand, and the plan from there is to only use CAD and to be working on the laptops. Okay, so for those that are going to be in, let me see, what do we have next week? I meet you guys only once next week, I think? Let's see. Today is Friday, 25th.
Yeah, it is only one, just Thursday.
It is only once, right? Okay, so on that Thursday, what we'll do is we'll review this work, and then on the following week, I'm not sure what day that'll be. I guess that'll be Monday. Yeah, on the Monday, day 3. You guys will have an assessment, which will be a quiz on drafting. And I'll tell you right now what it'll be. It'll be drafting the 3 images from the solid, and then drafting a solid from the 3 images. Okay, so you know already what it's going to be on. It's just going to be a unique shape. That's something you haven't seen. Any questions right now about today's lesson? Any concerns? Okay, well done. Thank you for putting up with me being home today. I appreciate that. And for not giving the sub a hard time. Mr. Stockton's probably just hanging out. You guys did a great job in class. And again, for those at home, keep participating when you're home like you guys did today. Okay, when I ask for participants, they can share their screen. That'd be great. And we're going to continue to do that even with the CAD stuff. So when I ask you guys to help from home or I want you to contribute, you can continue to do the same thing when we're on the computer working with CAD. So if you're in school next week, you don't need to bring your computers in for next week. Okay, if you're in school, it's the following week that we will start on the computers. Mike Brennan, you got a question over there, or is that just you hanging out in your hand? I can't tell which one it is.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, if you don't have any questions, you can go for today. Well done.
Thank you.
And again, try to submit your work, please. Submit all of your work for these things. All right,
All
take
right,
care.
guys.
Thank
Ishan.
Thank you. Bye.
So for the drafting practice, I submitted it last night, but there were a lot of mistakes that I corrected today. Should I submit the new version?
No, as long as you have them completed, you're fine. The recorrections are for your own knowledge, it's for your own work, okay?
Okay, so it's like
It's
a
not gonna be-
completion grade or accuracy?
Yeah,
grade?
for the homework for now, it's completion. For the quiz, it's a correctness, though.
Okay. Obviously. All right, well, thank you, Mr.
All right,
Howell.
and
Have a
thanks
good
for
one.
sharing today, Ishan. Good work with that.
All right, have a good one.
See you.